Hey, everyone, thinking about retirement. Or maybe you just retired. It's a
Maybe,
big
huh?
shift, and one thing that comes up a lot is like, what do you actually DO with all this new time you have?
Hmm.
Especially for guys. Finding a sense of purpose and connection can be super important.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to dive into something today that might be just the thing.
Men's sheds. Have you heard of them?
You probably have. They're getting more and more popular. And we've got some really interesting research and articles on them.
Yeah, from all over. Actually, from Australia, where the whole idea started,
Mm-hmm.
and from Ireland and Canada, where they've really taken off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so get this. In Australia, there are more men's sheds than McDonald's.
It's true. More men's sheds than McDonald's.
Wild, right?
It is. And it all began back in the 90s with this pretty simple idea
Okay,
to help combat loneliness among men, especially retirees.
makes sense.
But it's grown into so much more than that.
Okay, so more than just guys hanging out in a shed,
Right.
right? What did our research say about what's at the heart of this whole movement?
Well, it's all about giving men a space where they feel comfortable connecting.
All right.
And the Australian Men's Shed Association says it perfectly.
Okay, let's hear it.
They say men don't talk face to face, they talk shoulder to shoulder.
Hmm, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not about forcing these deep conversations.
Right.
It's more about that camaraderie that
Right.
comes from working on a project together.
Exactly. And it's amazing how doing something together like that opens up these natural channels for communication. You might
Yeah.
picture just woodworking,
Yeah.
which is a big part of it.
Right.
But our sources highlight a huge range of activities that happen in these men's sheds.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, well, think like gardening, tech support,
Okay.
social outings, even community projects. There's this great story from one of the articles about a shed member in Ireland.
Okay.
He said, it's just one of those things where men can get together and talk where they wouldn't normally talk otherwise.
Wow.
It really shows how these sheds become a space for men to connect in a way they might not be used to.
That's powerful. And for someone transitioning into retirement, that kind of built-in support system can be really invaluable.
Totally. It can be a real anchor when so much else is changing. And from what I'm seeing, the benefits go way beyond just keeping busy.
Okay, so let's dig into those benefits. What exactly are the sources saying?
Well, the Irish Men's Sheds Association, or IMSA, has this program called Sheds for Life.
Okay.
And it's all about promoting health and well-being in the sheds. They actually partner with healthcare organizations to bring workshops and resources right to the members.
So they're tackling things like mental and physical health head on.
Exactly. Issues like stress, anxiety, even chronic conditions like diabetes. They've got over 450 sheds across Ireland alone, so it's a pretty big network.
That's impressive. And, for someone who might be a little hesitant to go out and look for help on their own, having that support right there in a familiar setting,
Hmm.
that can make a world of difference.
Absolutely, you're right. It really normalizes those conversations about health and makes it much easier for men to prioritize it.
So we've got this amazing foundation of social connection and support, plus this big focus on well-being. And then on top of that, there's all this variety in what you can actually DO in a men's shed. I'm guessing that keeps things interesting.
Definitely. It's about finding something you enjoy or learning a new skill or sharing what you already know. The Canadian Men's Sheds Association actually has a website
Uh-huh.
with a ton of information on all the different activities and resources available.
That's good to know. We'll for sure share that link with our listeners.
Yeah.
But I am curious about something. What about the guy who isn't really into woodworking?
Yep.
What if he's more into tech or something totally different?
That is a great question. And that's actually the beauty of men's sheds. There really is something for everyone. Our Canadian source actually specifically mentions things like tech support and digital literacy as really common activities.
Hmm.
They even talk about sheds offering computer classes and workshops,
Oh, wow.
which is a fantastic way to stay current and engaged.
Yeah, you could be helping someone set up their new smartphone or showing them some basic computer skills.
Mm,
That's such a valuable service. And it probably keeps your own mind sharp, too.
exactly. It's a win-win. And it really shows that these sheds are for everyone. It doesn't matter your age, your background, or your skill set.
Now, you mentioned that the men's shed movement started in Australia, but it sounds like it's become a global thing.
It really has. The Australian Men's Shed Association mentions over 2,500 men's sheds operating in 12 countries now. It's remarkable how this idea has resonated with men all over the world.
And I think that really speaks volumes about this universal need for connection and purpose,
Mm,
especially as we move into a new stage of life like retirement.
I agree. And what's even more interesting is that the Irish Men's Sheds Association is taking this idea of community and well-being a step further with their Sheds for Life program.
Okay.
It's become a model for other countries that want to bring health and wellness initiatives into their own sheds.
That's a perfect place to pause, I think. Let's dive deeper into this Sheds for Life program and see what we can uncover.
So as promised, let's take a closer look at this Sheds for Life program from the Irish Men's Sheds Association.
Okay, yeah, break it down for us. We know it's about health and well-being, but what's actually happening in these Sheds for Life?
Well, it's more than just like handing out pamphlets on healthy living. IMSA actually teams up with different health organizations to bring workshops, training, and even like direct support into the sheds themselves.
Oh, wow. So instead of expecting the guys to go out and find resources, they're bringing the experts right to them. That seems like a way better way to get men engaged with their health.
Exactly. It takes away a lot of the obstacles that men might face when it comes to asking for help. And the range of topics they cover is pretty impressive.
Like what specifically? What are some examples?
Well, mental health is a huge focus. They have sessions on stress management, dealing with anxiety and depression, even suicide prevention.
Wow.
And, men sadly have higher suicide rates. So having this kind of open discussion in a safe space can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a game changer for some.
Yeah,
It's creating a space where they can talk about these things that might otherwise get bottled up.
exactly. And it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
They also have programs that focus on physical health, covering heart health, nutrition, exercise, and even managing chronic conditions like diabetes or arthritis.
So it's a really holistic approach to well-being.
It really is. And it's not just lectures or information sessions. A lot of the sheds build physical activity right into their daily activities, whether it's gardening or group walks or just moving around the workshop.
So it's about integrating a healthy lifestyle into what they're already doing. That makes a lot of sense.
Right. And remember that shoulder-to-shoulder thing we were talking about?
Yeah.
That plays a big role here, too. Men are more likely to pick up those good habits if they see their friends doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's like positive peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You're more likely to stick with something if you're doing it with your friends.
Exactly. And IMSA reports that the men who take part in Sheds for Life see real improvements in their health and well-being.
That's fantastic. It really shows the power of these community-based programs, especially when you're trying to tackle things that men don't usually ask for help with.
Yeah, and it's spreading beyond Ireland, too. The Canadian Men's Sheds Association is also highlighting the health benefits and doing research on the effects on men's lives. It's becoming this global movement towards a more holistic approach to men's well-being.
That's awesome. It's about so much more than just building something in a shed,
Right.
right? It's about building a healthier, more connected life. But you know what else is interesting?
What's that?
I was surprised to learn how many of these men's sheds are actually starting businesses and making money.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? It really shows how creative and skilled the members are. We're talking about everything from making furniture and toys to creating artwork and even offering specialized services.
That's incredible. So you could retire from your regular job and then start a whole new business from your local men's shed.
It's definitely possible. And it's not just about the money, although that's a nice bonus. It's about that feeling of purpose and achievement that comes from building something successful.
It's like they're tapping into this energy and creativity that maybe wasn't there during their working years.
Right. And it has a positive effect on the community, too. Many sheds donate their profits to local charities or use the money to improve their facilities. It's a win-win situation.
I love that. So we've got all these amazing benefits for the individual, the social connection, the focus on well-being, the chance to be creative, and even start a business. But it sounds like the impact goes way beyond just the person.
It absolutely does. Men's sheds have this ripple effect that touches the entire community.
So in our next part, let's explore those bigger societal impacts and talk about how they can help build a more inclusive and fulfilling future.
All right, so we've been talking about all the benefits of men's sheds for the guys who join. But now I'm kind of curious about the bigger picture. Like, how does this whole movement affect the community as a whole? That's a great question. And the research actually points to some pretty significant ripple effects. One of the most obvious ones is tackling social isolation. These men's sheds offer this welcoming environment, especially for older guys or guys who might be feeling a little lost after retirement.
So it's not just giving them a place to hang out.
Yeah.
It's about helping them build those real connections to fight off loneliness.
Exactly. And those connections often extend beyond the shed itself. Men's sheds are known for being active in local projects. They volunteer their time and skills to benefit everyone.
So like building park benches, fixing up community centers, maybe even helping out at local events.
Yeah, exactly. And that creates this sense of shared purpose. It strengthens those community bonds and just makes the neighborhood a better place to live.
It's a win-win for everyone. And I bet that sense of purpose can be especially powerful for someone who's just retired, when they're looking for ways to stay active and connected.
Absolutely. And then there's the whole impact on mental health awareness. We talked about the Sheds for Life program, and that's a perfect example of how these spaces are making it okay to talk about mental health.
Yeah, just having a place where it's all right to open up about those things can make a huge difference.
It really can. And the more comfortable guys feel talking about it, the more it creates this ripple effect and fosters a more open and supportive environment for everyone.
It's like we're finally breaking down those old stereotypes about men needing to act tough all the time.
Exactly. And it's not just about men anymore. We're seeing more and more sheds welcome women too, recognizing that this need for connection and purpose is something everyone experiences.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's about building these spaces where different generations can come together and share their skills and experiences.
Now, besides all the social and well-being aspects, there's also this interesting economic impact to think about.
Right, like how so many sheds are starting businesses.
Exactly. These shed-based businesses are creating jobs, generating income, and contributing to the local economy. It's like this small-scale version of entrepreneurship happening right at the grassroots level.
And even beyond the businesses themselves, these sheds are giving guys a chance to learn valuable new skills.
That's a great point. Someone who's retired from their career could learn new skills that help them find a new job or even start a whole new career.
So it's not just a hobby. It could be a way to start a fulfilling and productive next chapter.
Precisely. And when you look at all these factors together, it paints this really positive picture of men's sheds as a valuable asset to any community.
So what's the takeaway here? What do we want our listeners to remember from this whole deep dive?
Well, I think it's pretty clear that men's sheds are a force for good. They bring people together, promote well-being, and empower individuals to thrive.
And they're doing it in a way that feels genuine and organic.
Yeah.
Really rooted in community.
It's a model that deserves all our attention and support. And who knows, maybe it'll even inspire some of our listeners to get involved.
Yeah, like by joining a shed or even starting one in their own community.
That's a great point. Whether you're getting ready to retire or just starting to think about it, Men's Sheds has something really special to offer. And as we wrap up our deep dive today, we encourage you to check out the resources we've mentioned and see what your local men's shed is all about. You might be surprised at what you find. Thanks for listening, everyone.